Discussions around body weight and metabolic balance have expanded steadily over recent decades. Once framed primarily around calorie intake and physical activity, the topic is now more often discussed as a multivariable system involving sleep patterns, light exposure, daily schedules, and environmental stressors. This broader framing has increased awareness, but it has also increased complexity. Most conventional approaches within this space rely on effort-intensive structures. Structured diet plans often require food tracking, meal preparation, restriction phases, and ongoing adjustments. Exercise-centered programs introduce time commitments, progressive intensity, and physical recovery considerations. Sleep-focused interventions, when pursued independently, may involve behavioral tracking, strict sleep hygiene routines, device restrictions, and lifestyle restructuring. In many cases, these approaches are layered together rather than used in isolation. The friction associated with these methods does not typically come from any single step. Instead, it accumulates through coordination. Maintaining consistency across diet, activity, sleep timing, and environmental controls requires sustained attention. Progress often depends on measurement, interpretation, and iteration. For some, this level of engagement is acceptable or even preferred. For others, the cumulative effort becomes a barrier rather than a solution. In response to this friction, a parallel category of products has emerged. These products aim to reduce interaction rather than increase it. Instead of asking for behavioral overhaul, they position themselves as passive or low-engagement additions to existing routines. Sleep Lean sits within this category. Sleep Lean is a dietary supplement presented in capsule form. It is categorized as an herbal-based formulation and is manufactured in the United States using a blend of domestic and foreign ingredients. The product is not presented as a program, system, or training framework, but rather as a standalone consumable. The formulation is described as a proprietary blend composed of 8 natural ingredients. Public product materials frame the concept around sleep-related factors, particularly those associated with nighttime routines and environmental exposure. The emphasis is placed on alignment with sleep cycles rather than on daytime intervention or active behavioral change. There is no digital component attached to the product. No app, dashboard, instructional course, or tracking system is included. The scope is limited to the supplement itself and its intended placement within an existing routine. Conceptually, the product is positioned as supportive rather than directive, with framing centered on compatibility rather than transformation. No deep scientific explanations are required to understand the product's intended role. The framing remains high-level, referencing sleep quality and environmental influences without extensive technical detail. This places the product closer to routine-based supplementation than to therapeutic or clinical models. Sleep Lean is designed for use once per day, typically aligned with nighttime routines. The interaction required is minimal and consistent. Usage does not vary based on daily conditions, phases, or performance metrics. There is no requirement for dosage adjustment based on activity level, dietary intake, or tracking outcomes. The time commitment associated with the product is negligible. Consumption occurs within seconds and does not require preparation, planning, or follow-up activity. There is no expectation of engagement before or after use beyond incorporating it into an established schedule. Repeatability is a central characteristic of this format. Each day follows the same interaction pattern, regardless of context. This consistency removes the need for interpretation or decision-making. There are no prompts to reflect, adjust, or optimize usage over time. Environmental requirements are minimal. The product does not depend on specialized equipment, controlled lighting, or monitored conditions. It does not require changes to sleep environment, device usage, or daily habits in order to be used as directed. This positions it as additive rather than disruptive. From an effort-based perspective, Sleep lean aligns most closely with individuals who have low tolerance for complex systems, those who prefer minimal interaction, predictable routines, and fixed formats are more likely to find logical compatibility with this type of product. It may also appeal to individuals who are already managing multiple responsibilities and are unwilling to add layered processes to their schedule. In these cases, simplicity is not a secondary preference, but a primary constraint. The absence of tracking, decision points, and behavioral demands reduces friction. Conversely, this format is less likely to align with individuals who seek high degrees of customization. Those who prefer data-driven feedback, personalized adjustments, or hands-on involvement may view the fixed nature of the product as limiting. The lack of measurement or adaptive elements means it does not accommodate iterative optimization. It may also be unsuitable for those who expect visible structure or guided progression. Without milestones, benchmarks, or interactive components, the product does not provide feedback loops. Individuals who rely on those signals to maintain engagement may find the format insufficient. When placed alongside more demanding approaches, Sleep Lean occupies a distinctly low-effort position. Unlike structured diet or exercise programs, it does not require planning or execution beyond a single daily action. Unlike sleep optimization frameworks, it does not require monitoring, environment control, or behavioral restriction. This simplicity comes with trade-offs. More complex systems often offer depth, customization, and adaptability. They can be adjusted in response to data, preferences, or changing conditions. Sleep Lean does not operate within that space. Its design prioritizes ease and consistency over granularity. Rather than replacing effort-heavy methods, it exists in contrast to them. It does not attempt to replicate their scope or detail. Instead, it represents a choice to minimize engagement. Whether that trade-off is appropriate depends on individual tolerance for complexity, rather than on expectations of performance. The product remains limited in scope by design. It does not expand over time, evolve with usage, or introduce additional layers. Its role remains constant from first use to ongoing routine. The presence of products like Sleep Lean reflects a broader shift within wellness markets toward reduced interaction models. These models do not aim to compete on depth or intensity, but on compatibility with constrained schedules and low cognitive load. Within that context, Sleep Lean remains a fixed, low-complexity option whose defining characteristic is not what it demands, but what it does not require.